Welcome to this week's video briefing. We're looking at the euro area problems again today. I'm here with Stephanie Hare, our West Europe analyst, and we're focusing particularly on the intersection between politics and process and the desire for economic and financial remedy. And we're minded so to do because of the case before the Constitutional Court in Germany, which concerns essentially whether the German Parliament was right to approve the creation of the European Stability Mechanism. This chunk of money, which is supposed to be called upon to help sovereigns in distress, and there's one big sovereign in distress, which is the Spanish one, and it rather matters, Stephanie, as to not only the decision of the court, but when that decision might come. Timing is of the essence.
That's right. We were supposed to have seen the European Stability Mechanism, this 500 billion euro permanent bailout fund. That was supposed to be operational as of July 1st. We're obviously well past that.
Today, July 12th.
Today, July 12th. So we have seen now hope that it would be done by the end of July. Yeah. This hope was scuppered 2 days ago when the German Constitutional Court announced that it could take months rather than weeks for it to rule on whether to allow provisional ratification of this treaty by the parliamentary ratification of this treaty, or if it has to reject it. So we've had several lawsuits from different groups in Germany seeking an injunction. The court has to weigh this up, and they have warned that it's a very complex ruling.
And meanwhile, not 1 euro gathers together and constitutes a rescue fund. There's no rescue fund until a ruling.
That's right.
Okay. Now let's move the situation to Spain, which is waiting for news from Berlin.
Well, this is the irony, of course, is that Spain, which is requiring a 100 billion euro bailout for its banking sector, needs this decision from a court in Germany, in Karlsruhe, in order to know if it's going to have the money. So Spain can't do anything. Meanwhile, the markets are waiting as the uncertainty is ratcheting up every day that goes by to see if this part of the solution, or this part of the Spanish problem can be solved.
Yeah, we've seen some high drama on the streets of Madrid this week with protests, and we've seen some high drama in Parliament in a way, as the Spanish Prime Minister has unveiled yet tighter, stronger measures to get the budget into a healthier shape. They've been given a reprieve on the budget.
They have. Brussels agreed to give Spain until the end of 2014 to meet the EU deficit reduction target. It needs to be at 3% of GDP by the end of 2014. That's great. However, we need to remember that Spain's budget deficit last year was 8.9%. So this is still asking for a very serious fiscal consolidation in just a few short years for a country that is in recession this year and expected to be in recession next year as well.
And where the tax take as a percentage of GDP is historically low, and where unemployment is historically high.
That's right. It was at 24.6% in May. It's over 50% for workers under the age of 25. So this is not a country where people are going to be wanting to go out and spend. So where is this tax take going to come from?
Well, I think we've sort of gone down the track of the gravity of the situation. Let's look at some possible developments here of a slightly more positive nature. One is, of course, that the German decision, or the decision of the Constitutional Court, comes more quickly and is favourable.
That's right. The earliest that we could see that happen is going to be at the end of July. So say August 1st rolls around, exactly, and the court pronounces favourably. This will remove at least 50% of the uncertainty surrounding Spain. The money is there, it just can't be actioned yet, or it's provisionally there, but it can't be actioned yet until all of the parliaments ratify it and there aren't any further legal courts in any of the other member states. It's important to note, though, that there are a few other euro area countries that haven't ratified it yet, so that we've got a few things to wrap up in July. If that happens, at least that element of certainty will be removed and we could see the pressure on Spain's borrowing costs lessened. It will not, however, solve the pressures of austerity in Spain, the problems of overspend, which has continually plagued both the regional and central governments, and the prospects for growth. I'm not sure where they're going to come from.
It's an example of the way in which process and politics and legal issues are there for a very good reason. Their historical origins we're very familiar with, their virtue in many cases we're very familiar with, but in matters of financial distress where remedy and solution is required, then they're not quite so positive, are they? We get caught up in a mesh of procedure.
That's it. I mean, we now live in a time where markets move faster than democracy, and the people who created democracy 2,000 years ago could never have imagined the velocity and scale with which the financial markets move today. So we're living on the sharp end of that.
Thanks very much, Stephanie. And thank you for watching this briefing. I do hope you've enjoyed the discussion. You can have access to a lot of our analytical material of this nature and more via our Europe Compass service. Look at our website for details of that. We'd be very pleased to talk to you about it. In the meantime, thanks for watching.